Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today video I'm going to teach you how to write object-oriented programming in JavaScript using ECMAScript 6. So we shortly saying ES6. Before going to practical coding session, I'm recommend you to check out my previous video. So that is, I'm teaching how to write object-oriented programming in JavaScript using ES5, ECMAScript 5, right? So that way is a traditional way, it's the oldest way I'm saying. So that is using a prototype, prototypes and prototype chaining, everything. So I'm explaining that, right? So if you are not watched that video yet, so I'm recommending you to watch that video first, and after that better to watch this video. Anyway guys, this is ECMAScript 6. so if you take this JavaScript, they always releasing a new features with different version, like ES5 having some versions and ES6 having a different version. So in the ES5 that we used before is a prototype way to construct the object and all, right? So but in this video ES6 using object oriented way mean, so ES6 introduced the class keyword, right? That is just a syntax sugar for writing object oriented way without using this prototype. So basically that is also the way object constructing using ES6 using that class syntax. So in this video I will show you how to so basically previous code I have, the previous code which I have write for the ECMAScript 5. So in this video I'm going to convert those things to ES6 way, right? So that is what my purpose today in this video. Okay, then let's go to the video. So this is my browser. This is a Chrome browser. The previous coding practice files are here, you can see here. And first we use this constructor. Here you can see the constructor file, right? So this is a snippet. So this is how we write for construct the object using the traditional way using ES5, ECMAScript 5. So this is a prototype, right? So we using a function and this person dot this is how we adding methods to this object. So person dot prototype dot say hello. So if you are not familiar with this prototype, so better to watch that previous video. If not, I will attach here or here somewhere in the link, so you can prefer that video first and you can understand what is this prototype and what is prototype chaining, everything you can, I'm explaining in that video, you can refer that and get to know about it, right? So this is how we adding a methods to this object constructor, right? So if any have functions, we are adding with this prototype dot say hello. So after that we are using a new keyword and persons, right? So right now we are going to use this ECMAScript 6 class using this class syntax. So how to convert this to this object constructor to class, new ES6 way, right? So for this purpose I am going to create a one snippet, constructor ES6, right? So this is a constructor ES5, so I'm going with ES6 right now. So you can see here, so I will show you the beauty of this ES6. So let me add here this code snippet and I'm going to convert these to ES6 console. So if I want to create this person class, what I'm doing is using this class syntax. This is the class syntax ES6 introduced, right? And person, right? In here I'm using this constructor. You can see here this person having this dot name and this dot age, right? So this is a constructor. So here I'm using this constructor, right? In this constructor, so it's showing a name. So yeah, constructor we are using this name passing this name and age, and I am assigning this name into name, this dot age and age, right? And here we have a method called say hello. So in this say hello, inside this person class, I'm saying this say hello, I'm adding this declaring this function here, the method here, say hello. So here I'm returning this dot hey I am this dot name, right? And the same, yeah, that's it. So if you take this one, so we have this person and person having this say hello, right? So I'm deleting this one because we already defined here the person is there, the constructor we adding here to this class, and the same I'm adding this say hello function, or we can say method, right? So this is the same thing writing in a different way. This is the syntax we are using ES5, and this is the syntax we are using in ES6, right? So this ES6 is the one always we are using in the coding, and in the coding, if you are writing some coding or in your application, we always preferring ES6, right? So but for this video I'm just showing this one. So what is the difference between this ES5 syntax and ES6 syntax? So ES5 we already, as we discussed, we are using prototype. Right now if you can see ES6, we are constructing the object using class. So this is very needful and very easy to read and understand. But if you take this ES5, so if it is a minimal code, so if your application having a simple code or not much more bigger code, so this is okay. But ES5 normally not using, right? But we always writing the code in ES6, that's a new way, right? So easily understand that. So that is the reason ECMAScript 6 they introduced this class keyword, right? So in this person, so hereafter I don't need this person. The same thing we are same output we are going to see after this. Let me show you that one. So I'm deleting the one, sorry. So this should be a simple class, and now I'm control enter and I'm going to run this snippet. So you can see the same thing here, the new person one. So this is a one, right? Say hello. So the same behavior we can see here, right? So this is the beauty of this ECMAScript 6, right? So this is very easy and very needful, and actually I'm saying this is very beautiful. So it's not a big, so it's a easiest way to read the code and everything in a one place. Very easy to understand whether this methods or properties are belong to this person class. So this is very easy to understand, very readable, very anyone can read this one. So that is the beauty ES6 this class one, right? So at the end of the day, but this is converting to ES5. But browsers, most of the browsers right now supporting ES6. So if you are writing this to the oldest browsers, you need to convert this to ES5, right? ECMAScript 5. So anyway, this is the latest way to construct the object basically, right? So using this class key. So this is a very just a few lines of code and very clear manner to understand this one. So very clear, anyone can understand this one. So we saw that constructor in ES6. Right now we are going to see the inheritance, how to convert this inheritant ES5 to ES6, the code which we have right before. So you can see here the inheritance, and in ES5 there's a person class is there, lecture is there. Lecture having this we are extend this person prototype everything to this lecture object as well, so object lecture class as well. And in addition to that, we are adding a teaching subject, a new function here, right, for this lecture. So that lecture only available this teaching subject, right? So everything together we are calling this person and the lecture classes, right? So creating a new instance and referring. And lecture especially we are passing 3 parameters arguments is a computer science, right? So let me convert these two. So you can see right now we have 32 lines including this console log. So I'm going to create a new snippet here, inheritance ES6, right? Inheritance is ES6. So right now, so I have this person class here, so I'm taking this person class and ES6, right? And inheritance, in addition to that, I have a lecture class here, right? So in this lecture class, I'm using this same keyword lecture, right? In this lecture class, I have the constructor. This constructor, we have name, subject and age, right? Age, this name, age and subject. So again I'm using this name, age and subject, right? And here you can see here in this inheritance we have a teaching subject method is there, right? Now I'm adding that teaching subject to this lecture, and you can see here returning this string with the subject name, right? String with subject name. Now what I'm doing here, I'm calling this using this new persons. So right now here pointing to person, and lecture is pointing to this new lecture keyword, right? The variable construct. And here taking the same console logs here, right? So here I'm saying a new person, so new person, new person is there and new lecture is there, new lecture saying hi, say hello, right? That say hello belong to this class. So what do you think, how to extend using this class keyword? Yeah, there's one way. So before that I will show you, if I run this in the same way, what will be happening. So you can see uncatch reference lecture is not defined. So why it's showing the lecture is not okay? Lecture is not defined, the class is not defined properly here. Let me add again, and if I run here, you can see new lecture say hello is not a function. Yeah, because we are not extending anywhere. In this lecture you only see this constructor and this teaching subject method. Other than this you cannot see this say hello. So say hello is coming inside this person. So we need to extend this class. Extend. We need to extend person. Extends person, right? So right now if I run this one, you can see the reference error saying must call a super constructor in derived class before accessing this. Yeah, so if you are extending something in the parent class, right, for this children class, you need to call the super inside the constructor. Super. So in here I'm again passing name and age, which is coming from here. So here you can see if I using this super, so it's pointing to super class, and this super class construct expecting name and age, right? So using this super, I'm passing again the name and age here. Now if I run the snippet, you can see the actual result or output. You can see here, hey, I am John. So new lecture, say hello. So hey, I am John, right? So this is easiest way extending a class. This is an inheritance. Inheritance means extending other classes. So using this class keyword, this is how we extending a class. So now we can access a person's, whatever the methods person's having, that class we can access inside this lecture class as well. So this is the real beauty of this ECMAScript 6, right? So writing in ECMAScript 6, that is very good and very clearly understand this is belong to this and very easy. So that is what I want to give that intention to you. And we already saw this inheritance. Right now we are going to see this encapsulation, right? In this encapsulation, let me you can see here in the encapsulation is just hiding the data basically. So it cannot be accessible to outside world, right? So this is the code we return here. The person class is there, say hello, the lecture is there, and teaching subject is there. Lecture having another method function called increment salary, right? Increment salary. So let me remove this previous codes. I just test some more things here. So let me remove, right? So in this encapsulation, let me create a, so here in this increment salary, you can see this the basic salary is there. We increment with 10% and return this his basic total salary, right? So these cannot be accessible to outside. So user don't want to know what is happening inside this function, right? So that's the reason we declare here this constant. So that is scope level, accessible to scope level. So in this block level only it's working, that is not accessible to outside world, right? So this is all coming to, if you know about the lexical scope, that is what it is. So if you take a scoping, there's a three-way scope is there. One is for local scope, one is for function scope, one is for global scope. So these are the scopes available, it's depending. So if you want to know more details about those things, put a comment below, and then I will create a new video for that and explain you what is those scopings, right? So here I'm using this and returning this. I'm using this basic salary and 10% adding a 10% to this basic salary and increment and returning this total salary, right? So this is what doing here. So hiding this the logic things are hiding here, so that is not accessible to outside. Now I teach you ES6 using ESKIP ES6 how to do this encapsulation, right? So encapsulation ES6. Okay, so again we have this lecture class and person class, right? So I'm not going to write once again here. I'm using the same thing here, right? Just copy and paste here. In addition to that, say hello is the lecture having this teaching subject, that is already we have. So the new function coming increment salary, right? So I'm going to adding this method again here, and I'm taking the same logic which we return here. Right. Let me remove the spaces. Now I am calling this. So let me take that as well. The one we are calling here. So the person we are calling, and actually we don't need to call, I don't need to show you this person once again. So let's go with this lecture, John and computer science, and age is there, right? Now for this one, so let's say for example, if you console log this one, console log, and if I want to access this increment salary, right? So new lecture, right? If I run this, you can see 11,000, right? But this is still accessible. This method is basically accessible to outside world. But let's say for example, but if you are accessing using this basic salary, let's say new lecture dot, I want to access this basic salary. This is cannot accessible, right? You can't accessible this one. But if you are using this name, these are accessible and you can override it, right? But these basic salary things are not accessible. So this is what we call hiding. But I want to show you one more thing here. So that is, I don't want to access this increment salary as well. So it should be cannot be called. So in this case, what we can do is ECMAScript 6 introduce the private class keyword. So private class keyword mean if you want to make that method private, you need to use this hash. But if you are coming to the Babel, you can use this private key. But let me show you that private key here. It's not going to work anyway. But this is how we using this one. So instead of using this, we are adding here this private, right? But here it's not working here because ECMAScript don't know what is this private keyword, right? So ECMAScript having another similar to this private, you can use this hash. So right now this is a private method, right? So if you are going to access this using this new lecture dot increment salary, it's not going to work. You can see here is not a function, right? So if you are using this hash symbol as well, you can see here the syntax error, private field increment salary must be declared in enclosed class. But I can return get my increment. I'm adding a, so anyway I want to get that output of this total basic salary. So inside that class I'm using this as a private and I'm creating a one more method here with my total salary, right? Here I'm return this dot increment salary. So inside this class, this private method is accessible. So instead of using this increment salary, I'm using this get my total salary. Now you can see here, if I run here, you can see the increment salary. But you can't access this private method because this is, we define this is a private, so it cannot be accessible to outside world, right? So this is what encapsulation. So you can hide all the data, and if you don't want to access these method as well to outside, you don't want to expose those methods to outside world, you can use private. Okay, now the previous video I explained you the way the hiding the data using encapsulation, right? But how can we use this private making a private that function in ES5? So here you can see the increment salary is accessible, right? But as I told before, let me clear first. Here you can see if I run this snippet, this amount is displaying, right? But I don't want to use this get increment. Instead of that, I want to create a one more method like get total salary to this encapsulation. So how can we do in this in ES5? That is where we are doing this and we are converting to IIFE, right? IIFE mean immediately invoke function. So in that particular function, we are going to declare this entire lecture class. So let me show you how to do that in the ES5. So here you can see we have this lecture and this prototype and everything, right? Let me take this one and take everything, this lecture including this lecture constructor. I'm adding lecture right. So inside this bracket I have another function, right? I'm adding every things to here, every lecture class, lecture method or constructor to here, and I'm returning this lecture constructor. Now if I don't want this increment salary to accessible to outside, I'm deleting this increment salary and consider this as a function increment salary and remove this, right? Instead of that, I am adding lecture.prototype. Let me take this thing, lecture.prototype. So the ES6 we introduce a new method get my total salary, right? Get my total salary, and let me take the same logic here as well. So now, so if I want to take that function, you just need to call this increment salary. Now let me run this snippet and you can see new, the type error, new lecture increment salary is not a function. Yeah, right now you can see this increment salary is not accessible, but let me access this get total salary here, right? Is also not a function, what was saying. Okay, so this is a function and return increment. Okay, so you can see the function is there. I'm returning this lecture, right? Okay, this is immediately invoke function. Once this get invoked, we need to call and assign everything to this lecture class, lecture variable. So that's the reason. Let me run once again here. You can see the salary detail here. Look at this, 11,000. Right now it's working. But if you are if you want to use this function, this is not accessible. You can see here. So right now this is the way we are writing or we are making private this in ES5, right? So ES6 I already show you, that is a hash. You can use that hash in front of your function or a method. You can make it private. So that is the way we are doing in ES6, right? Okay, let's see then now another pillar in object oriented, that is abstractions. So in this abstraction you can see here, let me run this one. You can see the output here, 15, and what we are doing here, we have this person class and generating number, that generate number having another method called generate IDs, function call. the employee class is there. Employee class is getting this generate employee class is extend with this generate number prototypes, the method, and calling this generate IDs, right? So this is what here doing is. So basically abstract is the class you cannot access or cannot create an instance of that class. Instead of that, you can use that properties and method using this extending to your child class. That is what we can do with these abstractions. So let's create this in let's see the way how to create these abstractions in using this ES6. So abstraction ES6, you see here, and person class we have the same say hello, and let me take this person class, right? And second, I want to create a generate class, generate number class. Let me create that class as well, class, and a constructor. This constructor, I'm using this the same thing because we don't pass anything, because this is a different implementation. So if this constructor, if there's any namespace available to the generate name number class, what we are doing is we are just throwing instant this cannot be initiate, right? And there's a one method generate this generate number class having, that method name is generate IDs. So let me take that generate ID, and this generate ID having a math random with rounding the random number, right? And there's a one more class we have, that is employee class. So we need to create employee class for this class, employee, constructor. This employee class expecting name and age, right? Taking this name and age, right? And I'm extending this employee with this generate number class. So let me extend this one. So no, let's keep as it is, and other than this employee doesn't have anything. So okay, here let me create an instance of this generate number. So I'm using this generate number, right? So if I console log this, you can see this person has been declared, identify a person. So that's a different issue. So let me run once again. You can see the instant this class cannot be initiated. So you cannot directly access this generate number, or you cannot create an instance or a reference using this new keyword. So instead of that, you can extend this with your employee class. So employee, so previous example you can see employee class taking this generate number prototypes. So I'm going to extend this with generate number, and right, and I'm going to access this using this generate ID. So generate new number, that instance reference we have, I'm going to call this one. So if I run here, so let me refresh. If I run here, it's still saying So first we need to take this employee. I'm creating an employee class, new employee, creating instance for this new employee and generate ID. Now you can see must call super. Okay, the super also we need to call, right? So here you can see my generated number is 190. So now it's working as we expected. So this is how we are implementing this in abstract in ECMAScript 6 abstractions class. So abstractions class you can't directly access, so you can't create an instance of that particular class. Instead of that, you have any child class. If you have, you can extend that and you can use that properties and methods, right? So that is what the abstraction is. So basically hiding all the logics and implementation. So it's a common to every task. You can create some abstract class and you can extend and you can use it. So that's how it's you can doing in the abstractions in ES6, right? So there's a final object oriented pillar we need to discuss, that is polymorphism. So you can see here the polymorphism example, and if I run this one, you can see employee, right? So polymorphism, what we are doing is overriding basically. So in this prototype, say hello is there and favorite food is there. So if you are calling this favorite food, the person, you can see it will return my favorite fast food is pizza. But if you are extending that with the person class and you are overriding this with burger, so then if you are using this employee dot new employee dot favorite food, the output is a burger. Let me show you that. So let me create an instance of this person class, right? This new person, let me rename with Smith. Now if I access this new person dot my favorite, new person is not defined. New person, right? And you are taking this my favorite food. What is the output here is, you can see my favorite fast food is pizza. Now here you can see we are taking this person prototype, so including this my favorite food also coming to this employee class, and we are overriding this one with the my favorite food is burger. So if I now call this new employee dot get my my favorite food, right? Now you can see the favorite fast food is burger. So basically polymorphism is you can override the function again and again. So that is what polymorphism is. So okay, we already saw this example in ES5. Let's convert this to ES6. Okay, polymorphism ES6, right? Again we have this person class. Let me take this person class, right? In this person class polymorphism, we have another new method called my favorite food. Let me add that as well, and returning my favorite food is pizza, right? So after that we need to create an employee class. Okay, right? Let me add a constructor having name, age, there's any subject available there. Okay, only these tools are available, right? So employee having my, so basically extending this person prototype. So employee extends this person parent class, right? And here overriding this my favorite food once again. Okay, before overriding this one I will show you. Let me create an instance, employee, new employee, new, create instance from this employee, that is extend from persons, and this is first name is Rahim and age is 24, right? Now if I console log this one, new person, new employee, if I run the snippet, sorry, let me refresh, and if I run the snippet, okay, I forgot, sorry. So person, if you are extending, you need to call the super, and this dot, sorry, name and age. If I run here, you can see the employee, age and name is there. If you expand this person prototype, you can see my favorite food as well, right? Now if I call this new employee dot my favorite food, you can see pizza, right? Now I want to override it, so I don't want this person class, whatever person class returning, so I'm just overriding. So in this case what I'm doing is, again I am adding same method inside this employee class and return this with my favorite food is burger. What do you think if I run this one? What is the output? Name employee dot my favorite food. You can see here, now it's burger, it's not now a pizza. So this is what you guys want to learn. This is everything we convert ES5 to ES6, right? So this is the way basic using ES6 you can do anything. So very easy to understand, very easy way to read the code. So the readability is a special thing if you are coming to the programming world or coding world, right? So this is one of the beautiful feature or a syntax sugar, we can say syntax sugar, in introduced in ES6, ECMAScript 6. So yeah, this is all about this object-oriented programming in writing object-oriented programming code in JavaScript using ES6 syntax. Basically ES6 is just a syntax, but this is JavaScript still a prototype based programming language. So I want to show you if you are using any older browsers, right? So right now IE also, Internet Explorer also deprecated, so no more Internet Explorer with us, browser is not more with us, so we don't need to write any code for that. So I'm not thinking we need to convert these to ES5 for support these two old browsers. So the modern browsers are supporting to ES6, ECMAScript 6, so we can write this ECMAScript 6 codes. But suppose if you want to convert this ES6 to ES5, you can convert codes to ES65 to ES5 code, right? Let me copy and paste this code. You can see now ES6 code convert it to ES5. So if you are doing this, this is the code which we are getting. So this is the oldest way. You can see here person is there and calling, and likewise employee class, and we are extending. So this is a little bit weird code you can see here, but you can see this is the convenient way. If you want to convert this ES6 code to ES5 for supported to all the browsers, then you can convert using this ES6 console.com, and it will convert your ES6 code to ES5. So that is what I want to show in this video. So then guys, I hope you will learn this ES5 object-oriented how to write a programming in JavaScript using ES5, and how to convert this ES5 code into ES6, everything using this ECMAScript 6. So how this class syntax we are implement this using this in JavaScript, everything I teach you in this video. So I hope you all understand everything. If you have any queries or if you have any questions, just put a comment below and I will reply to your comment once I free. And one more request for you, if you are not subscribed yet my YouTube channel, go below and click subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button, then click the notification button as well. Once I upload any new videos, you will receive a notification if you are enable that notification bell button. I hope you guys will support to me. So yeah, then we'll catch you on new video. Thank you, bye.